Hello students. In class 6, you learnt about different parts of a flowering plant. Try to list the various parts of a plant and write the functions of each. Most plants have roots, stems and leaves. These are called the vegetative parts of a plant. After a certain period of growth, most plants bear flowers. You may have seen the mango trees flowering in spring. It is these flowers that give rise to juicy mango fruit we enjoy in summer. We eat the fruits and usually discard the seeds. Seeds germinate and form new plants. So, what is the function of flowers in plants? The flowers perform the function of reproduction in plants. Flowers are the reproductive parts of a plant. So, what is reproduction? The production of new individuals from their parents is known as reproduction. But how do plants reproduce? There are different modes of reproduction in plants. These are categorized into two types, asexual and sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, plants can give rise to new plants without seeds, whereas in sexual reproduction, new plants are obtained from seeds. So first, we will discuss about asexual reproduction in plants. First, vegetative propagation. It is a type of asexual reproduction in which new plants are produced from roots, stems, leaves and buds. Since reproduction is through the vegetative parts of the plant, it is known as vegetative propagation. Before we discuss about vegetative propagation, let us know some parts of the plant. Node. It is a point on a stem from where the leaf arises. Axil. It refers to the angle formed between the leaf and the stem at a node. And vegetative bud. It can be seen at the end of a stem, branch or at the axil of a leaf. It is surrounded by immature overlapping leaves. When it is present at the axil of the leaf, it is called an axillary bud. So, vegetative bud is normally present on a stem, but in certain plants, it can be seen on a root like sweet potato and on leaves like in Bryophyllum. Vegetative propagation by stem. Many plants like rose, sugarcane, China rose can be easily grown by stem cuttings. These plants, the part of the stem is being cut which contains some vegetative buds. It has to be placed in the soil and to be watered regularly. After a few days, we see that its roots are arising, even the leaves are also arising from the plant, from the stem. So, thus from the stem cutting, a new plant is grown. Now, here I show you something. It is a potato. If you look carefully, you will observe certain scars on this. These are also called the eyes of the potato. Now, if these are being cut into pieces and placed this in the soil and watered regularly, you will find the plants will arise from this. Here I show you few more potatoes. From these scars or the eyes, the birds have appeared and even the roots are also been observed. If we place this in the soil, this will grow into new plants. Ginger and turmeric can also be grown the same way as the potato tuber. Here I show you the turmeric from the scars arising. Here I show you the buds growing from the turmeric tuber. The roots of some plants can also give rise to new plants. Sweet potato and dahlia are examples. Plants such as cacti produce new plants when their parts get detached from the main plant body. Each detached part can grow into a new plant. Here I show you a plant, Bryophyllum, also called sprout leaf plant. It has the buds in the margins of the leaves and which grow into small plantlets. Here you can see the roots and the small leaves. And when it falls on the ground, when it gets detached from the plant, falls on the ground and it grows into a new plant. Plants produced by vegetative propagation takes less time to grow and bear flowers and fruits earlier than those produced from seeds. The new plants are exact copies of the parent plant. Another mode of asexual reproduction is budding. You have already learned about the tiny organisms like yeast can be seen only under a microscope. These grow and multiply every few hours if sufficient nutrients are made available to them. Remember that yeast is a single-celled organism. Let us see how they reproduce. For this, a pinch of yeast powder is taken and placed in a container with some water. A spoonful of sugar is also added to it. Then it is kept in some warm place. After an hour, a drop of this liquid is taken in a glass slide and observed under the microscope. Here you see the diagram. It is observed that cell is reproducing by forming buds. See, the first one is the yeast cell and something which is bulging out, this bulb-like projection coming out from the yeast cell, that is called a bud. The bud is gradually growing and gets detached from the parent cell and forms a new yeast cell. The new yeast cell grows, matures and reproduces more yeast cells. Sometimes another bud arises from the bud, forming a chain of buds. If this process continues, a large number of yeast cells are produced in a short time. Next, fragmentation. You might have seen slimy green patches in ponds or in other stagnant water bodies. These are the algae. When water and nutrients are available, algae grow and multiply rapidly by fragmentation. Fragments means pieces. An algae breaks up into two or more fragments. These fragments or pieces grow into new individuals. This process continues and they cover a large area in a short period of time. So, Spirogyra and alga which reproduces by means of fragmentation. Do you recall? I showed an activity while we discussed nutrition in plants. Bread mold or fungi which are growing on the bread, piece of bread. Bread mold reproduces by forming spores. The spores in the cotton-like mass on the bread. When spores are released, they keep floating in the air. As they are very light, they can cover long distances. The spores are asexual reproductive bodies. Each spore is covered by a hard protective coat to withstand unfavorable conditions such as high temperature and low humidity. So they can survive for a long time. Under favorable conditions, a spore germinates and develops into a new individual. Plants such as moss and ferns also reproduce by means of spores. So today we have started a new chapter, chapter 12, reproduction in plants. And we have discussed a sexual mode of reproduction in plants. Thank you, students.